Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
I told you could get happy hour every day from 1 to 8 p.m. at the Evergreen Bar in Southfield. And the new menu items are looking right. Okay, I see they got lamb chops now. You know you got to hit the shrimp with the lemon drip. Okay, Evergreen Bar done stepped it up. Cheers to that. And on Friday and Saturday nights, they got a nice karaoke vibe from 7 p.m. to midnight. Everything was tasting right, and the drinks was hitting extra strong. Make sure y'all pull up to Evergreen Bar and Grill in Southfield.
Meet the IHOP House Faves value menu. Everything's just $6. Like the Breakfast Faves combo, $6. French toast breakfast, $6. $6 for all this and all that. That's a lot of breakfast for $6. Weekdays at IHOP.
Detroit is my home. In Detroit, my first love came into my life. I bought my first car, my first home, where my firstborn entered the world. Can you see what I see? The future that is upon us? New generations will experience their own fabulous firsts. They will have their own stories, first memories to share.
If your workload requires strength and durability, Silverado from your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers will have your back, handling everything you need to bring your unique vision to life. When the job calls for the best, Silverado is the hard-working pickup that means business. Lease a 2025 Silverado Crew Cab LT for just $189 a month. Put it in D and see why Chevy drives the Motor City.
Welcome back, Blue Devils. It's been a minute, but we're finally back here in Southfield after almost a month of being away. In that time period, the Blue Devils had their bye week, faced Judson University away, came out with the win, then faced Siena last week at Siena, came out with the loss, unfortunately. But this week, they're playing Receiving Boats, Taylor University, looking to bounce back from their loss last week. Coach said the goals are to focus on controlling the controllables today, taking it play by play, hopefully coming out with the win. Back up to you, Brian and Alex.
Thanks, Carmen. We appreciate you starting us off there down on the Lawrence Tech sideline. And thank you for joining us at the Lawrence Tech Blue Devil Stadium here in Southfield, Michigan. Nice, beautiful fall day. Alex Johnson on the call. To my right, Brian Lemons. Coach, I mean, it's great having you. It's both our first times up here in the booth, well, above the booth, but definitely going to be an interesting football game today.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys get out here and play. It's beautiful out. You know, a good Saturday in Michigan football. Here we go.
Yeah, definitely a big one. So it looks like Lawrence Sec deferred, and they're going to have Taylor receive, so they're going to be looking to grab that ball back in the second half.
Yeah, it's a big advantage being able to come out at halftime, maybe with a lead, and then take the ball and march right down.
So we had the meeting with Coach O earlier in the week, and from that meeting, big thing I noticed was a lot of weight on the line there for Taylor, and they definitely play with a bit of anger, I would say, and ferocity from what I've saw.
Yeah, I think Coach O really expressed how big they are up front, how strong they are, and he's probably looking forward to a really physical game today.
Yeah, one of the ones that really stood out to me was, I want to say, their left guard. Or, no, their right guard. Their 1 and 2, Crosby and Richardson, are both 6'2", backup 6'3", but the key point here is 300 pounds.
300 pounds is 300 pounds no matter where you're playing.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of meat to push.
Yeah, especially with a lot of these young guys on Lawrence Tech. I mean, that's tough to deal with.
Well, I talked to Coach O. Strength and conditioning is going to be a big part of this offseason, right? We got to build these guys to make them strong, make them tough up front, so that they can walk into any field and be a competitor.
Yeah, and I kind of feel for Coach O. He came into a tough spot. You have to take over, and then you get hit with probably the worst injury bug I've ever seen. I mean, worse than the Lions defense last year.
Yeah, he did talk about, youth and injuries as being one of the most one of the biggest parts of the adversity of the season that he's had to face. But you know what? No one feels sorry for Coach O. He's out there coaching football on a Saturday. He's having a good time. He's going to do his thing. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and I mean, I've definitely seen programs. I've been a part of programs where huge freshman group come in and do business. And it looks like Odell, sophomore, who's going to step back for the opening kickoff. And Worlds is going to grab this one, going to stretch out to the right, makes it to the 20, 25, 30. Down at, I would say, about the 36. Good opening kick return for Taylor.
He had some room to kind of set things up pretty good there. We didn't quite squeeze our lanes on that side of the field, but we got him down to some decent field position.
Yeah, and big names for Taylor in this one is DRC, Parker, and Munson. Those are the three workhorses for this Taylor offense.
I think we're going to see a little power option coming up.
I would have to agree there. Shift over. Parker, nice run there. I'd say for about 7.
That's a good looking run right there. I think, the patience on the running back, that's what really makes that play happen. It's not just the big speed and power up front.
Yeah, I think a lot of that, too, comes with, age. Having those older players, they know sometimes all gas and no brake isn't your best option, and Taylor's going to grab the first down there.
If today looks anything like the first 2 plays, right, they're trying to really pound that ball inside, and then every once in a while when you start sleeping on it, they'll kick it out there to that option back.
Yeah, I mean, so far this season, Parker, he's got 857 yards, 122. There's that option read that we heard Coach O talk about. I think it's probably one of the most dangerous plays in a run game.
Well, there's definitely some risk and reward for it. Anytime you're putting that ball backwards in the air, it can be a little scary. But, they zone block it in the front, and they're letting the quarterback just find the crease. And if there is no crease, he'll just pitch it outside to that guy and let him try and get around the edge.
Yep. It's going to be a nice run there from Parker. Grabs a couple nice chunk yards. But he averages 122.4 yards a game and then about 6.3 yards a carry. I mean, that's
you go through the levels of football. Rushing the ball for 8 yards an attempt in high school, fantastic. College, 6. NFL, 4. Like, these are the numbers you're trying to achieve.
Lawrence Tech able to swallow them up, but just short.
I think they're a little bit short, maybe a full yard. But we've been averaging more than that. TU's been averaging probably close to 3 or 4 yards a carry, and you know they got a decision to make here for sure. Looks like they're going for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. If you got a workhorse as a back that can grab you those chunk plays, and I mean, we've seen it this first drive.
They're on the plus side of the 50, and tight end added into this.
Go right up the gut.
Looks like you got it.
Yeah, just got it.
So what you've seen so far is just pretty much the same play, a little bit different window dressing around it, but it's been that guard around, pound the running back inside, trying to hold guys on the edge with that option look to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just old school hard-nosed football. My high school coach would call it Xerox.
Yes.
If they can't stop it, all right, run it again. You might just flip it, but until they find a way to stop it.
Oh!
Nice tip.
Oh,
interception.
That play had disaster all over it for them. When they pulled the ball out on the RPO and they sling it out there, the defender was right in the right spot, and you put the ball in the air, another guy's Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's great eyes there by Foster, just to stick with it. We used to call it tip drill in high school, where it was something fun with our linebacker coach, but it was always the thing that you didn't realize you needed it until you needed it. But look, let's look at the replay here.
So he's going to watch, he's going to get a little ride here from him, and he's going to pull it out, get it to that slot.
And it looks like we'll have to wait on that replay there, but here. Now Lawrence Tech getting started here right away. Keeping the feet moving there.
Oh, here we go.
Great play by Garrett.
No quitting those legs.
Yeah, that's a big thing with this. Basically, red shirt, but pure freshman offense. I mean, they got freshmen all over the place due to injury, but I think these opportunities these freshmen don't realize are huge opportunities that I call them little bugs. You just put in the back of your head, all right, I'll check mark that down.
You're just storing data, and these kids are going to have all this 4 years of this experience. When they get to that 4th year, they're just going to be so much more better for the playing time they're getting right now.
And Sanders taken down for a loss there.
Oh, we got double tight formation, twins out to the side.
Yeah, they're going to be trying to, guess, looking for Johnson.
Oh, he's got some room.
Brewster's going to take, I thought he was going to take off there. But yeah, the two big names on this Lawrence Tech offense are going to be Baird and Johnson. They're the two receivers to watch for Lawrence Tech today.
You know, I really like that formation they just put out there. That's one of the toughest formations to defend. Like, you really have to pick. Am I going to stop the run or am I going to stop the pass? That formation was a tough one for them. Empty here.
3rd down and 11.
There's a lot of space there. We had one high safety. It looked like they were man underneath here. Thing is, you get college level football. Now it's even bleeding into the high school level. Is you're getting a lot of combo coverages. You get a zone to the wide side of the field. You get a man to the short side of the field, or vice versa. The hardest thing is to be able to detect which is which, and then attack it later in the game. Same formation.
See, curious what, because they're definitely going to try and get Baird or Johnson in it here. Deep routes by everybody.
Oh.
Schuster slips out of one set. Tries to get out of the second one, does.
Gotta find it.
Curls back to the left, doesn't have anybody. He's going to try and cut the edge, taken down.
Got a 4th and a long way here. But we got a little off schedule there. We're trying to move the ball, and then you get yourself into a 3rd and 10. It really cuts down on the options that you have to go with. We got punt formation coming out, a little spread punt action, 3-man wall.
Coach, in your opinion, what's better, spread punt or a tight punt?
You're asking the wrong guy. I go out there with 2 punters just to see if I can get something going. The real determining factor in your punting game is typically field position, where you're at and how safe you got to be.
Beautiful punt, muffed on the punt.
TU held on. Good punt. Look at that. That thing left his toe at the 20-yard line, and we're picking up defense at the other 20. It's a good change of field.
It's a great tackle by Foster, though, getting to the ball.
Right on top of him. You know, that's got to be probably one of the most nerve-wracking things to do is stand back there staring at the sky while 11 guys are running down the field at you.
I would do some, like, practice receiving on that situation. And, yeah, I 100% agree with you. There is nothing that I feel like in football to get your heartbeat racing more because, you know, if you screw up,
yep, everybody
can tell. But great tackling there by the line from Lawrence Tech.
So TU, they're doing some shifts and some trades with their guys up front, trying to get that advantage. Doesn't look like they've been able to take advantage of it yet, but I'm sure right now they're in a discovery period.
8 minutes left in the first quarter here, and Parker's going to have the ball, tries to go to the left. He's going to get stopped.
Man, we are doing a good job of responsible football here. You know, guys are not out of position. They're in the spot they need to be. It's just a matter of you got to get the tackle. Right, they're in a good spot right now, though. Try to get them to jump off sides. You know, everybody's doing that now. People are more prepared for it. It's tougher to get. 3rd and 5.
Great tackle for a loss there. I want to say it's a. No, you're
Not
say he got to the line of scrimmage.
Not surprising that they saved the first pitch for that 3rd and medium run situation. Same ride, it looked just like everything else they've been doing, you know, but they spit it out there to the kid, and we were in the right spot. Great job by the safety. All right, let's see if we can get some field position here. It's returnable.
Baird muffs it too.
Clean catch there. We probably could have flipped the field a little bit and gotten into that 50 range here and have the ball on their side of the field. It's tough. It's a little windy out there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really see it with the flag because it's right up against the woods here at Lawrence Tech, right behind the field. But if you kind of peek out in some of the trees, you can see it a little bit at the very top. So you could definitely see at the top of that flight path of the ball where it kind of shimmies a little.
Here we go, a little tight formation here on the edge. 3-by-1. All right, great play here. Way to get the ball into your guys' hands.
Yeah, and that's
Sanders got around the edge. If you watch that play, you have 3 receivers lined up tight. They're blocking. It's a pass play, but they're downfield blocking. Their running back is catching the ball in the backfield. And you can block as many people as you want downfield when you catch that ball behind the line of scrimmage. That was a group play.
Yeah, and when I played linebacker back in high school, I think that was the formation I hated going up against the most because you had so much to keep an eye on. And Schuster scrambling here to the right, flag out. Going to take a wild guess and say that was holding.
It's in the right spot for it. TU's doing a good job of kind of mixing it up back there. You can see Schuster, he's trying to look downfield.
Yeah.
And he's having a hard time picking it up. these are things that develop over the first half.
And that was a big thing that Coach O talked about, that they are the least penalized team in the conference.
Yeah, he said that, you know, it's one of his proud points about these guys, you know, how smart, how tough they are in the classroom, and how disciplined they are on the field. And those are hidden yards. Those penalties, you know, you start stacking those penalties up, and next thing you know, you're constant 3rd and longs and things like that. A little unbalanced formation here.
Schuster hands off, pulls it back to Sanders, and he's going to take it himself. Curls out to the right, gets to the sideline. I believe he's going to grab 3 yards off that.
So 2nd and 14. What do you throw out the RPO, right? We got an option. We could run this football inside, maybe get a good chunk, and have the option to throw it outside to the receivers. Unfortunately, they were in man coverage out there, which made it a little bit tougher to get to the receiver. He got the right read. It was pass. The only problem is our guys were covered up.
So we're going to go trips left here.
Let's see if we can get the ball into Johnson's hand right here. He's got one-on-one here on the edge.
Yeah, be looking for something vertical here.
That's right where he went with it. Really good job of defense by number 4 from TU. Reese Pickney was on top of him. Broke that thing up. It was the right play, the right person. Just got to finish the deal.
For you, Coach, would you have had, especially with that one-on-one man coverage, would you have had him kind of fade towards the boundary over the number, try and give your receiver a little bit more time to go up and play, or would you rather have had that kind of, vert in?
If you're truly trying to get him all by himself, we're going to try and keep things vertical or maybe outside, stay away from the guys inside. They had a safety across the field, and he kind of got closer with every step. But at the end of the day, he had a chance to close the deal.
Another beautiful punt there. This time, no problem for the returner.
Oh, good layoff there by 24. 24 from TU had a chance to block a guy in the back, and he took his hands off. So good job by him. But there was a lot of running around in circles there. We didn't get much yards out of it, but looks like we covered things up pretty good.
And another, great play by the special teams of really containing the returner for Taylor.
Special teams are scary. When you kick that ball off, that guy's not back there catching it because of any other reason than the fact that he's a really good athlete.
Yeah.
So they want the ball in his hands. Good tackle there.
That's another read from Ambergy where he just chose to keep it. It's also a great play there by Martell of kind of just staying home to make him enforce that decision. Parker off the middle here, saw the lane, grabs the first down.
All right, looks like TU has kind of switched things up a little bit, going away from that power run. Looks like a little bit more inside zone. Quarterback's probably reading the backside end with the option to either run it or pitch it to the guy that's in that deep motion. But a little bit different. No more guards pulling right now.
So that's another motion right to Parker there off the gut.
More of the same right there. Inside zone. Double teams at the point of attack. Bounce off, scrape off to the linebackers. Running backs just got to really push it up inside there and make a decision late. It's speed option with the zone block up front.
Big play here for Amberg.
Oh,
he's going to go to 20, 15, 10, but down to, I would say, about the 4.
Yeah, he's inside the 5 for sure. Okay, so that's the third time we've seen that play. Right, and twice the quarterback has ripped it for about 20 yards. That one was a little bit longer, but someone's got to be on that assignment. And when the zone block's coming at you, a lot of times the guy's assignment is to take the quarterback is getting covered up. So there's a second layer of defense that just is late getting there.
It looks like Amberg stepped out.
First time they ran it, Greer Sykes, he was the one that covered him up, and I did not see his number on that play.
This one was fake there, but Parker's going to grab his first touchdown.
You know, just kind of, you know, we've started this thing out pretty good. A couple big plays in that drive. You know, kind of gets you on your heels a little bit, kind of gets you doubting yourself a little bit. But when you're inside the 10, you got to buckle up and play football. And that time there was a little bit of misdirection, probably put them in a bad spot.
I also think they probably had a couple eyes looking too far into the backfield, trying to keep an eye on that motion and just.
Well, speed scares everybody. So when you see that guy sprinting across the formation and you just poke a little fake in there, it might get a couple guys off track. But, you know, we'll come back. Coach Nystrom, this guy's been through it before. He knows what he's doing. He's going to get these guys ready to play up front. Probably going to get them right to the TV set on the sideline. Make small adjustments, not big adjustments, just subtle little things. Sometimes it's just a matter of want to versus need to. Replay.
We're going to jump back to the play here, having a little bit of issues with the replay.
Sorry, I got photographic memory. We had a little jet motion goes across, and then we ran the zone up inside. And all it takes is one linebacker to take a step with that jet motion to clear that path. Good read by the running back because he was right up in behind the double team, and he actually bounced it to the same side that jet motion went through there. So what it did is just one step gets you out of gap, and there's nobody there to close the deal.
Jalen Johnson back deep to receive for Lawrence Tech.
Oh, let's get a good return here. Looks like Johnson's back deep, number 11.
Yeah, you know they're definitely going to want him to tear it up. Another muff by Baird there, but he's able to grab it and get upfield.
You know, there's a really big need for just clean skill sets. But it's not by chance. These kickers, they have such a talent of doing things with that football. If you watch that kickoff right there, it was spinning sideways.
Yeah, I was going to say it was like helicopter.
Not normal. That's not normal. You know, the first time he kicked off at the very beginning of the game, almost went to the end zone, it was a typical end-over-end kick. This one was spinning sideways. That's a tough one to handle.
It's one of those games within the games.
Yes.
There by Schuster to pull it out on the read.
Good read by the quarterback there. Lyman doing a good job of taking care of the inside on that play. Just a little read option for the quarterback. Schuster's getting around that edge. You know, he might have to put his shoulder down and bang a little bit, but you know, good start on first down. 2nd and 6 right now. Ace formation. Tight one.
Definitely a great play there by the corner Worlds.
I like Coach O. He's gotten back into that double tight formation. Again, he's got 2 wide receivers in that formation, which is really stressful to the defense. They have to decide, run or pass. You know, right now, the defensive backs are winning the battle in that one because it's a one-on-one go. 3rd and 5, we changed some personnel on defense. It looks like they're going to bring in 2 safeties.
Yeah, I mean, especially with it being about, I'd say 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, empty.
Schuster gets out of 1 sack. One come from behind. They're going to grab him.
All right, that was kind of sneaky by TU right there, all right? They showed 2 high safeties at the beginning of that play. On the snap of the football, 1 safety came up dead middle of the formation, take care of any crossing routes going there. 1 high, man coverage on both sides. Very difficult to detect before the game. If you're not prepped on that specific look, you're going to get what we just had, quarterback pulling the ball down, scrambling, and we're going to get a look at that for sure from the sideline with each coach. Look at the hang time on that ball.
Definitely a
That's
hard
scary.
catch. And that's another one of those weird balls. It literally was spinning at an angle.
Yeah. You get it up there and hang it up there for a long time. These guys got a lot of time to think about it down on the ground. Field position might be a little bit of a problem here. TU starting with about, 40-yard line? Defense has got to step up here.
Another read. There's a toss. Looking left. He's got a lane. And then there's fumble that's going to go out of bounds.
I think the officials got him with his knee down before the ball came out.
Yeah, and that was Ethan Albert. I'd say the 1-2 punch. We're starting to see it here from Taylor. I mean, Albert has got 75 carries in the year for 367 yards, averages about 52.5 yards a game.
Oh,
nice pull.
Great play by number 16. Defensive back just got his hand in there at the last minute. So Burns, number 16, he's in man coverage. That RPO pulled out, tried to hit the receiver on the quick slant. He's in trail, gets his hand right to the ball, breaks out through it. Reaches his hand right between. Okay, so he's got the receiver's got his hands to the ball, and his hand goes right in between them and rips it out. Great technique. Speed option with a shovel inside. TU's doing a great job. They're running this option game, and they have two options every single time. Either a run pass option, or in this case, a true double option. Shuttle guys coming underneath, I can spit it forward, or I can kick it outside to the guy that's running around the edge.
But I mean, we are at the end of the first quarter, and it's only 7-0. I mean, if you were to ask me what I thought the score could be, I didn't think that the freshman defense, that due to the injuries and everything, but they've stood true, they've stood tall, and I mean, they're kind of keeping Taylor in check.
They're doing a great job. I mean, up front, between the tackles, the only problems they've had was some of that inside zone stuff in the last drive. On the outsides of the defense, the quarterback run on the option has been a little bit tough for us. Yeah. But what we're doing is we're bending, we're not breaking, which is good. All right, we're in a spot right now where, moving into the second quarter, we've put our chances, we've done our job defensively, we've given our offense a chance to move the ball. If we find some consistency on the offensive side of the ball, our defense is going to get a lot better.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was a defensive player, being a linebacker. I mean, when you see your offense just going off, it makes you feel like everything you're doing to keep this score low worth it.
Yeah, I mean, 4 quarters of football is a long time, right? And you can't be on the field once offense, defense, they can't be on the field the whole time. They have to have some sort of community amongst the two groups to save some of that energy, because you're going to get banged up front by these 300-pound guys.
Yeah,
it's going to wear you down before you know it.
Nice stop there by the linebackers, hitting the line.
It's going to be real close here to a first down.
And the ref saying.
Yep, ref signaling for the chains to move. There was a little push there at the end, which I think got him over the line. Number 41's coming off the field right now. Carter Schmidt. Looks like his helmet came off in the active play, so you're required to come off the field for one play.
Yeah.
If your opponent rips it off, you can stay out there. But if it comes off on a natural play, you got to come and sit for one.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, you can see Snyder. I mean, he's the captain of that defense, leading everything back there. He's going to pull it out, looking over top, wide open.
You got a run-dominant team, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to be their best pass play?
Well, we talked about that early on in the game, that keep hitting with the run, and then pop one real quick.
Yeah, and it was a good formation for Taylor. They've been running the ball pretty consistently, moving the chains, and defensive coaches, all of us defensive coaches, get a little greedy, try to get an extra guy to the party. Unfortunately, in this case right here, it left one guy out of position, and pat on the back for Taylor. They took advantage of it.
Yeah, that's their tight end Munson, who's pretty much their go-to right behind DRC. And he's got 9 catches now for the year, but we're coming into this game, 8 catches, 247 yards, and 3 tugs.
Yeah, I mean, how many catches do you want a glorified tackle to get in a season, right?
Fair.
This run offense of theirs is run first, pound the ball, and we're going to take a shot every once in a while. When you add the extra guy to the box, we're going to try and get that tight end out there, and that was a good job they did of it.
Yeah, but I mean, we have seen, I would say, over the last 8 years, the tight end position change a lot from the true traditional, like you're saying, extra tackle to they're basically more of a wide receiver. I mean, you saw the Steelers have their 300-pound tight end that he's wide out.
Well, the 300-pounders today run sub-540s, right? So it's a little bit scarier. But our tight end position in general has been more of a weapon for football teams across the world.
Nice catch there. A quick tackle by Taylor.
All right, we don't have to do anything in this drive except get a first down. That's the only thing we need to do right now. We got to kind of slow down the momentum that Taylor's built up, and we got to keep our defense off the field. So, Coach, I'm sure he feels the same need to just get some offensive consistency here. Let's get a first down. Let's get the ball moving in the right direction.
My linebacker coach would always say every 4 set of downs is a new game.
That's right.
If you can win enough of those little games, you end up winning a football game. So definitely interesting to see as Schuster steps back. Nice catch by Johnson. He's able to grab a couple extra more yards there after the catch. Big first down for Lord Sec right there, winning another mini game.
Here we go. Good sharp pass by Schuster. Hit that dig route coming off the wide side of the field.
First attempt for Lawrence Tech at the 49-yard line.
Defensively, we're seeing a 2-high safety group from Taylor, right? And they got this little set of outside backers that are kind of creeping up. So there's a lot of room in the middle of the field.
Sanders.
Nice effort.
Able to grab 2 yards on that.
Brought down by Carter Workman.
All right, we got no huddle going on here, so we're going to try and change the tempo a little bit.
Yeah, and that was another thing Coach O touched on during the meeting we had earlier in the week was their signaling this week.
Yeah, I mean, it helps because Taylor does a lot of defensive packaging. So when Coach O was talking about their defense, their coach has designed everything by their personnel. So we're trying to keep that personnel off the field.
Schuster definitely took a hit there at the end.
All right, here we go. It's funny, we were sitting there talking about, let's get a first down, let's go. Coach O is so much about, hey, every play, let's go one play at a time. Let's do this right now, and then we'll bounce back on the next play, and we'll do that one right, and we'll stack good plays on top of each other, and that's how we'll move the football.
Trips right. A lot of time for Schuster. Great blocking by the line, following it up. He's going to curl to the left. Try and use his legs, get a couple extra yards. Should about 2 more yards.
Taylor's doing a really good job in that defensive secondary of making it as cloudy as possible. So there's no true one read for Schuster to pick up. Right now he's dialing through. He's hitting his first look, second look, and by that time the pressure's getting on him. He's seen this before. I mean, he's a senior. He's played a lot of football. He played great high school football team, great program. Now he's here in college. He's trying to do the same thing. Things are a little bit advanced, but he's just, he's been around the block. He's been around. Need a little bit of help on the edge. They brought one extra than what we had to block, so, that's a spot you don't want to be in as a quarterback when you don't have a quick out to it.
But now we're going to see come down to Vincent Robinson or TJ Baird.
Turnover on downs, that's a hard one. All right. Defense picking up right here in their own territory here at the 44. Tight end set.
Steps back, wide open receiver there on the edge. Great tackle there again. Foster.
I'm not really surprised in the play call. You got a turnover and downs in their territory. You take a shot at the end zone, and if you convert it, you might have put the team to sleep. Great effort, second effort by the safety to get in the right spot to stop that from scoring. No huddle from Taylor.
Great second effort there by Parker.
Parker's been patient in his runs. His inside run and that guard around run, the little power run that they have. He's been really patient, staying in there behind those guys, and that's why the second effort there opened up for him. We got to keep him out of the end zone right here. Big stop here on this goal line stand will give us a lot of momentum.
Parker getting patient, and he's going to just drive it in.
All right, so we haven't seen that yet. We saw the wing back kind of insert inside for the ISO for the running back. What we've been seeing is that wing traveling all the way across the formation to kind of wrap the end for the quarterback read. That time he stopped a little bit short, right inside probably the A gap here, and picked up the linebacker and the running back right behind him.
Snap, kick is up. It's good. So Taylor grabs the 21-point lead here with 10:25 to go in the half. I mean, points-wise, I know it's not what Coach O wants, but we've talked about how he's not focusing on wins or the point totals as a whole, but we definitely seen some big plays from the young freshmen. And it's really, you could tell, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride where they start jumping on those good plays and making bigger plays, and then Taylor pops a 20-yard play, and then it kind of just resets the emotions.
Well, what do you run into? Hold on, we got
the touchdown there. But yeah, I mean, it was a great drive by Parker there to grab that. I mean, but still, that's just another patient play from a veteran running back.
Yeah, tough to see from that angle, but you could have had a chance. You could have, from up top, we could see it plain as day, that H-back inserting inside.
Now the helicopter kick. This one gets to Johnson. Gonna try and cut up the right, but met with a big boom there.
All right, we have to put a drive together here and move the ball into the other team's territory. Keep our defense off the field. You know, I'm looking down at the sideline right now, and I see every single guy down there being coached. Every single guy on the sideline right now. If you look right here, you can see Coach got the iPad out. He's got 10 sets of eyes looking at the same iPad that he's at. You look at the other end of the field. You got your position coach down here working with these cats. That's how I know Coach O is doing the right thing.
And on top of that, it's not just the starters that are looking at the
right
iPad.
on.
You have the backups and the three guys that are trying to find something.
This is what you have to do. When you are coaching a squad that's filled, your roster's filled with freshmen and sophomores, you have to coach every single play. You have to coach every single play from the sideline. And when you get an opportunity to take your defense over to the TV and do some searching as far as answers to what you're going to do to stop that team when they come back out, your coaching staff's doing the right thing.
Schuster steps back, throws it, looks right. Got a receiver, gonna grab a couple extra yards there. I'm kind of to support Coach O here. I mean, I've been part of the team to look at Lord Sec's D3 hockey team. I was part of the team that came in. We had the 26, 28 freshmen, and it took us 5 years to really build up the program. We kept getting more wins every year. And the year after I left, they made their first national tournament in St. Louis. The year after that, they made it to the Final Four. And then next year, they were national champions. It takes time, especially with the young crew.
Yeah, I mean, anything worth working for is working hard and getting into this program. We got a shot.
Play there by Schuster. Nice catch by Garrett. Another big catch by Garrett.
Great job there. You see him throw his hands late. Defender had no chance to defend that. He was playing catch up, trying to get to him deep over the middle. Threw his hands late, caught that ball, brought it in. This is what we needed. We needed to change the field.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge 35-yard play.
A lot of pressure on him. Seems pretty consistent that Taylor's bringing this weak side linebacker off the edge, and that's where they've been getting home most of the time.
Screen play, great play by that corner.
You know, that looks like a play that, like, I know people at home sometimes watching, like, why are we throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage to our receiver? You know, it's an extended handoff is what us coaches are thinking. But it requires, like any handoff, it requires guys in front of you to be blocking your guy and holding that block. But, you know, the farther you get away from the ball, the more athletic those guys get. So those corners, they're doing a good job of covering that up.
Well, and we've even seen that screen pass turn into maybe a double pass where you could have that receiver on the backside running a slant or a fade down the middle.
You know, people, when you throw that pass, there's so many good things that could happen, right? I can get a 3-yard run out of it. Great. I can get a touchdown out of it. That's the best case scenario. Getting the signals from the sideline.
38-yard line.
All right, here we go. 3-by-1, 3 to the wide side of the field. What are we looking for here? 2 high safeties.
And
He's rolling down. 2 blitzes off the edge. Came quick. I saw him coming from the edge. I saw them creeping, but I have a really good angle. The quarterback doesn't necessarily have that same angle. Right? Ideally, the defense is trying to make it look just like the same thing they just did, and now they bring the 2 guys. Typically, the guy that you can look at to get the tip is the safety. You got your 2 guys that are deep. You see one start moving up a little bit, you know he's replacing somebody. So somebody's coming from that edge. This has been a pretty standard look from them in long situations.
Schuster steps back, looks right, wide open receiver. That's going to be Johnson.
It looked like that ball got lost in the sun.
Yeah.
You saw his hand stutter. You saw his head kind of nod. It literally looks like that ball got caught in the sun right there.
Yeah, and I mean, we're up in the booth under a tent, so we can't exactly see the sun, but it's definitely coming down. It's probably the worst angle.
The last thing you want to do at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Michigan is throw the ball to that northeast side of the football field. That's too bad. That would have been a touchdown right there, but I guarantee you Coach O has put a little circle around that play, and he'll come back to that before it's all said and done. We'll get that one back for sure. Turnover on downs, though.
But definitely quite a few plays, but big play here. Looking to the left. He's got the lane. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Taylor.
So Taylor is taking their tight end, and they're moving them from side to side, and they're adding different in amount of receivers outside of that tight end. So I have 2 receivers outside the tight end. That creates a new gap for me to cover defensively. I had a 3rd receiver. Now I have another gap plus another receiver. So I'm losing guys at the point of attack, and he was untouched. He was untouched because we just ran out of bodies. Our defensive guys, as young as they are, the hardest thing to do is recognize formation and get aligned. That is the hardest thing to do for a football player in the game, is to recognize formation and get lined up.
Yeah, but nice 59-yard run by Jedediah Galvin for Taylor to put themselves up 20-0 with 6 minutes left to go in the half.
You know, there was a time when you'd watch this game and there would be multiple scenarios where guys were just lined up to lose. You know, Coach O talked about it on Wednesday. You know, his kids are doing everything that they're supposed to do here at the university. They're going to class and they're getting set up. Hang on, we got this.
Yeah, right there.
It's a little bit late. Just got to get off that block.
But right there, I mean, if you can grab, try and smack his foot. I mean, you could kind of see what the idea there was.
Back to what I was saying is that, you know, he's got a great group of kids. They're doing the job academically. He's got guys that are going to, with experience and their intelligence, it's going to show.
Here. Tackle just short of the 40.
Taylor Johnson with the return. Tackle made by Seth Oliver.
He repeated the whole thing of just process. This process that they're going through, changing coaching staff, now bringing in a new roster.
Yeah.
That process is not going to happen overnight. And if he has a locker room that kids believe in that, he's going to find himself in a good spot here in a year or two. But it's going to take time. It's going to take effort.
Well, the big thing for me with Coach O that I've noticed is, because I was at Lawrence Tech when the football team first came around, is retention. He's keeping a lot of kids, and to me that's telling me the kids want to be here. They want to play under him. Nice catch here, cuts back, going to create some more yards.
There we go. Great play. Got it out there quick, let him do some work with his feet. Yeah, Coach O, I've known him for a long time. You know, every place he's coached, the kids have loved him, and the kids have followed him. So I think these guys here, he has an opportunity to build that with them in the offseason. It's going to be, it's going to pay off for him.
Yeah, that was a great play there by Palazzolo to grab, kind of juke and jive and grab a couple extra yards here to make this short second down. Sanders still driving to try and get back to the line of scrimmage, but tackled short.
You know, the speed of decision, that is a key piece for that quarterback. He's got to make that read, and he's got to get the ball to the right spot as quick as possible. Sometimes just a little bit of delay, a little bit of a glitch in that read, it allows defensive guys to get in a better position to play defense. That one was maybe just a second off, just a little bit late, but still good thought process as far as what the play was.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to bring Palazzolo out there more into the slot. Schuster steps back, has a lot of time, cuts right, he's going to use his legs. He's going to at least get the yardage back to where it was on
4th and 5.
Second.
Looks like the punt team's running out. 4th and 4 right there.
I mean, in this position, with it being 20-0, you're real close to midfield. I mean, what would you do as a coach? Would you kind of like, all right, let's risk it and go for it, or would you still punt here?
Well, if there's 4 minutes left to go in the game, I'm going for it for sure. Right? In the first half, you have to understand, you're going to go into halftime, you're going to make some adjustments. 28 points is nothing in a half of football. So right here, you got to play. You just got to play by the book, you know, and your defense has to kind of step up and make a stop here.
Another great punt by Lawrence Tech. I mean, Carter Dixon's really getting that ball up there, letting his gunners get downfield, and try and make a play, potentially.
He's done a really good job of executing.
First and 10
You know,
for Taylor,
unfortunately,
20-yard line.
we're talking about punts. We don't want to talk about punts, right? We
Yeah.
want to talk about extra points. We want to talk about kickoffs. But he has done a terrific job of really changing the field for Lawrence Tech.
He's going to dump this one off. Foster almost had his second interception in the game there.
Yeah, he had his hands on it. It would have been a really, really good play if he would have pulled that one in. But hey, these guys are talented.
Broken up by Darius Foster. Second and 10.
Still seeing that extra offensive player on the line there, that wing back that's hitched up to that tight end, to create an extra gap. We got to figure out a way to fill that, because if not, they're going to come back to that run, the one that just hit big. You can see it right here. Number 90 looks like he's expanded a little bit to try and take it away.
Yeah, you can see Hawkins is stepping down too to kind of maybe cover that pitch.
You know, we've seen one ball pitch today.
Yeah.
But you have to cover it every single time. You can't decide, hey, you know what? We're just not going to cover that guy, and we'll steal that guy to try and get in there and stop the inside run. As soon as you do that, they're going to catch you.
Yeah. But, I mean, that just
Third down and 5 to go.
shows, I mean, it's a great formation and play from Taylor that now Hawkins always has to keep an eye on as he steps up here. This is the run, going to come out to the right. And he's going to grab the first down there for Taylor.
We haven't seen a whole lot of that today, the jet sweep around the edge.
Corey Pittman with the tackle.
Sometimes those are just keep you honest plays. That one worked out, picked up the first down for him. Good block on the edge. We got to cut down these runs just a yard. Just cut them off at a yard more. So letting them average 5 yards on the carry, we got to get that down to 4. We got to get a situation where we have a third down and we can get them off the field.
Second and 6 from the 37-yard line.
One thing, as we've kind of got towards the closer to halftime here, we've seen them, Taylor, start using all three of their running backs. We've seen Galvin getting a couple yards here and there, Albert and Parker. I mean, it seems like they're kind of spreading the wealth in the backfield.
They've had a couple big plays in the air, but they haven't thrown the ball a lot.
No.
And you're not going to get out there and have your tailback carry the ball 40 times. Spread that out a little bit. Fresh legs in there in the huddle every play. Timeout here. It's a big play here, 3rd and 6 for Coach.
I think it's a 2-minute warning.
Oh, is it? Perfect. Perfect. Give us a chance to dial up something really sweet for this third down.
Yeah, give defense a chance to catch their breath, too. I mean,
You look on the field, there's more than 11 guys in that huddle, right? Because Coach Nystrom's got packages of defensive individuals for certain situations. Right now, he's trying to decide, is he going to stop the pass here or is he going to stop the run? He's deciding which one right now, and he's going to go all in on it.
yeah, I think he's going to err on the side of the pass. I mean, some of their big guys here, 93, 74, some of their bigger, meatier defensive linemen.
The matchup right here is number 92 on the edge with the tight end wing. Up top.
Deep ball over top.
Touchdown, Taylor.
So, from the defensive back position, you'll hear coaches talk about eye discipline and how important it is. Where your eyes are pre-snap, where your eyes are in the process of defending. So in that case right there, we were chasing, we were in trail. Our eyes can't come back. Our eyes come back, our feet stop moving, receiver keeps running, and that's what happened on that play right there.
Yeah, and I mean, that's only thing I might knock Burns on that is that he turned towards the sideline instead of turning towards the open field, because I feel like if he would have turned towards the open field,
He would have gave himself a chance for
Yeah.
sure.
Taylor, 35.
Yep, your eyes have to be in the right spot. You know, look, these are college athletes, and they are talented. Check out
and I mean
this last minute eye looking for the football, right? You're right. He turned over the wrong shoulder to look for it. Looking for it in general, you know, that's got to go late. Your eyes don't go until his hands go, and you got to make sure technically you put yourself in a position to make a play.
Yeah, and I mean, I really think if he turns towards the field, that's easy. Oh, thank you, I'm going the other way.
Oh, it's definitely he definitely had a chance to get it.
Dalen Johnson back with you for
It's too bad, you know. It's just the little things matter, and you know, Coach was talking about how important attention to detail is. Everything they do in the locker room, in the weight room, in the classroom, detail, detail, detail. And you know, these guys are out there playing. It's not easy. It's not easy at all to be able to do all those things physically on the field and then just lock in on that. It's the practice and the mental preparation that gets you where you got to be. Kicker's doing a good job of pinning that ball in the corner.
He's really forcing Lawrence Tech to the sideline. He's doing half the job for
He's
the kicking team.
He's literally cutting the field in half is what he's doing.
Honestly, I would say he's cutting off 2/3 of the field, because it's forcing Baird to really catch that almost close to the numbers almost every time.
He's only got one place to go with it. Now here we go.
Schuster, nice throw. Another chance for Johnson there.
Well, hey, no fault of Johnson. That was a great pass, but it was in a crowd. It was in a tight window. You know you're going to get dinged after that one. He's coming off the field now. He's kind of shaking his arm. You know, you want to pull those in, but you know, the other side's playing as hard as they can too.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a great defensive play. He had a defensive back draped over him.
I don't think we had a catch there. We're calling incomplete. It's a good call by the officials.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Pass was incomplete.
And Pazzolo again, he's kind of, as we've gotten closer to the half here, he's starting to become more an option in that slot.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. We've seen the ball go to, I think he's had 2 or 3 targets already. All of them short passes. He's had some run after catch with it. That one's a tough one. He just kind of didn't finish the catch, tuck, and turn. Pressure off the edge.
Schuster, smart play there, especially on 3rd down.
Pass is incomplete.
That was a straight beat off, literally right off the edge. Beat him off the ball. Got the dip. Got his shoulder underneath the offensive tackle, and it was one-on-one with the quarterback from that point on.
Connor Dixon on the punt for Lawrence Tech.
All right, he's done a good job of punting. Here we go.
Tech RC receive for Taylor.
Is he going to elect to go with the high one, or is he going to try and drive it?
I think he's got the wind at his back, so I think we might see more of a sky and just let the wind carry you here.
Put it up. Great concentration there by their return man. Cell number 85 flying through the air and still pulled that one in. Nice play by him. All right, Coach. What, we got a minute 22 left in the half. The scoreboard doesn't matter right now.
I'm not looking. I'm looking at time and looking at who we're sending out here.
It doesn't matter at all. Right now, you're seeing which guys on the field are going to take care of their business. You know, there's an opportunity here. You know, you look if you look at the score, coaches will start doing different things based on what the score is on the scoreboard. All right, but as a coach right here, doesn't matter what the score is. I have an opportunity with a minute left to go in the game, I am going to try and get my 2-minute offense out there and try and drive the football field. That's valuable practice that you can't duplicate at home on the practice field. Ooh, good break. Good break on the ball there by Bailey Brooks. Great job catching. Very contested right there. All right, here we go. 1 minute left, 45 seconds.
Yeah, see, saw a little bit more of a spread there. Kind of trips to the left, but Ambergy's going to take it on his own.
Yeah, literally, they're not trying to run a hurry up here at all. They are taking their time. We've got a timeout right now. But I was telling you, you can't duplicate 2-minute drill in practice. You can try, right?
Yeah, there's always practice reps, but
So-
there's nothing like game reps.
No, and so you have an opportunity to take a 2-minute drill in a real live game. Yeah, the score is in your favor right now. It's the perfect time to do that, right? And vice versa. As a defensive unit, I want that opportunity to defend a 2-minute drill as well. Like, you're looking at a process of trying to build a program, and you're not looking at anything other than opportunities for your kids to learn. This is an opportunity for your kids to learn what it's like in a 2-minute offense when the offensive guys are getting lined up fast. They're trying to get the ball out quick. They're trying to get to the sideline. All these things that on the defensive side, you know, in practice, you can't really get that look.
Well, on top of that, it's kind of add on to your point. Like, you get used to seeing your guys, your boys, your teammates every day of the week, and it's nice to see somebody on the other side of the line of scrimmage for once. Pass wide. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say
that one skipped
not a
in there.
catch.
That might be the first straight drop we've seen from Taylor. It was a quick action, you know, one-step drop, trying to get the ball out fast, get the ball caught, get out of bounds. 32 seconds left to go in the half. I'm curious what their field goal range is. But I would have to venture to say if they get inside the 30, they might try to kick one through it.
Yeah, I think they might go for more of a run look here, especially with Etchison, the backup tight end. And
Well, it's going to be a close one here. Did they convert? Looks like they got the line to
yeah,
gain.
they're going to say, hey, that's good.
Timeout coming from TU.
Timeout called by Taylor.
Fresh set of downs with 26 seconds left. I wonder if their coach is going to try and take a shot, or is he going to try and get into field goal range?
We might be able to tell, I feel like depending on what tight end is in, that kind of gives us a better idea. Because with Munson, they usually show more of a pass, but with their backup tight end,
Well, Odell, their kicker's been over there smacking balls into that net at a high rate. So as long as he gets an opportunity out there, I think it'll be a great opportunity for them to get their field goal unit on the field as well. But let's get a stop. Let's go into halftime with something positive to talk about.
pass here
One-on-one.
for the outside double move from Zimmer.
Great effort there by our Lawrence Tech. Looked like the backside safety there.
I'm going to say, yeah, that was Greer Sykes
Yeah,
that made
great.
that play.
No quit on that play for him. Obviously, our corner got beat on the double move. We're trailing. We're in recovery mode. We're trying to get over as fast as we can. We got a player down on the far sideline.
Yeah, if I read the jersey right, it's number 15 for Lawrence Tech.
15? I can't see from my vantage point. 15 or 13?
I want to say it's 15.
1-5. 15.
So that's Xavion McDonald. The backup weak side safety.
I'm not going with 15. I'm going with 35. That's what I'm going with. 35.
Yeah, if that's
15? 35. It's definitely 35.
So that's Pittman.
Looks like they're working ankle. He's sitting up. Here he goes. Here we go.
Yeah, so that is Corey Pittman, their weak side safety.
The freshman's jogging off the field. That's good to see.
I like that.
All right, so 18 seconds left. We're on the 2. You can run, you can pass. I think you have the option to do either one on this. They're going to run that inside. Short.
I'm
short.
Gonna say, yeah,
yes.
He's a few inches short.
I tell you, officials love to mark people down on the 1 or the 6-inch-yard line. They love to get that foot down on the ground right inside the goal line. You know, it's you get inside the 10, they make you earn it for sure.
Yeah, my linebacker coach, Coach Kaltika, he's a real old school linebacker. He called inside the red zone gut check time.
Gut check time.
Who's going to have the guts to stand tall and make the big play to stop it? You see Parker. Gonna take it right, yep. Right up the gut to the right side, so Taylor is going to grab another one for another 6 points here, make it 41-0 with 12.1 seconds left in the half. And I feel like the game we're seeing on the scoreboard is different than the game we're actually seeing, because I feel like Lawrence Tech defense is putting up a fight. It's just those mental lapses on one play in the drive is giving up the massive yards or giving up the touchdown home run play.
Yeah, we've had a hard. They've had some really big plays, some really big yardage plays. You know, defensively, you know, it looks like we have a nice balanced defense. We look like we're in the right spot, but you know, youth has an impact.
Yeah.
It has an impact on your techniques, tackling, pursuit. These are things that guys go to college and they learn. They learn this in their first, second year of college. Well, a lot of these guys playing, it's their first, second year of college, and they're learning on the job. And if you have the right guy in charge who understands that, you know, and Coach O's that guy, these kids are going to be fine. Right? They just got to be tough enough to handle this.
The mental toughness, I think, is
Right
going to
on.
be a big thing for the freshmen this year. And that was one thing when I was a vet and we had freshmen coming in, especially talented freshmen, where they're used to being the guy that they can do what they want, there isn't a problem, and then they get to the next level, and it's mentally tough that week in, week out, you're not getting your usual moves. The stuff you could usually get away with, you can't get away with it. And I think a lot of it, too, helps with coaches that are willing to stick with you and, hey, we know this is going to be tough, let's do it. But then a lot of it can be helped out by the veterans on the team of stepping up, like, hey, let's look over this. Hey, let's try it this way. Just trying to give them some advice.
Well, Coach is going to keep working, that's for sure. They're going to hit the locker room right now. Coach is going to talk to them. First thing he's going to say to them, he's going to say that scoreboard doesn't indicate the amount of effort and the amount of pride that you have to go back out on that field. He's not gonna, first thing out of his mouth. Then he's going to seriously take a look at what is our best plays that we had in the first half. And we're going to focus on those here in the second half. And they're going to come out. I bet you their first drive will be the best drive of the day.
Yeah, but it'd definitely be interesting. But looks like we're going to take a look at the Lawrence Tech Marching Blue Devils here as we head into halftime.
Is there a way to preview it before you send it to us? Yeah, so I am. As I kind of
All right, fans, it's time for the Silverado touchdown toss presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. One lucky LTU student has the chance to win up to $500 right here at halftime. Here's how it works. Make one ball in the box and win $100. Sink two and that's $300. Make all three and you walk away with $500 in cash. Today's contestant is Sophia Buckberger, a grad student from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Let's hear it for Sophia, Blue Devil fans.
But that's the last bit.
Great try, Sophia. Thanks for playing. You're still going to walk away with some great LTU merch, courtesy of the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Thanks for playing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Sophia one more round of applause. And remember, Chevy tries for Motor City. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the heart and soul of Lawrence Tech's campus, the LTU Blue Devils Marching Band. Our marching band is proud to perform their 2025 show, Night at the Movies. Sit back and enjoy the show as we take you on a cinematic journey through familiar movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey, Indiana Jones, Guardians of the Galaxy, Life is a Highway, and Mission Impossible.